Darrell Weston here at the MMC on the walls. So we're going to do another little method on defeating the Plaquette, the ATC guide in auto block mode. And so we'll just go ahead and get started with it. So my climber's climbing, and you know, in order to defeat this, he's going to have to fall. Oh! See it bounce. So Pat's now hanging on it. So first thing we got to do is, in this case, we're going to use our Purcell. So I'm okay taking my Personal Pro off because I am clove hitched into the main master point on the anchor. We trust these ropes all the time, right? So I'm going to take my Personal Pro, my Purcell. I've got this handy thing here, so we'll put it to use. The way we attach it is on the load strand of the rope. And of course, we're going to put it on there with a Prusik hitch. This is where it's a little cumbersome with the big knots by the time you get to that third wrap. All right, get that fed through. Dress our knot. Take this thing back up, lock it to one of the anchors, and then we want to make sure we've got it slid down as far as possible. That'll give us our maximum extension with it. Then I'm going to slide it down the rope to tighten it up. Next, I'm going to take the brake strand, and I'm going to use my auto block here on my leg. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm just going to wrap it onto there just like we normally would for anything else. Clip it back in and lock it. That'll come into play here in just a minute. Okay, so that's kind of that backup. So now we use the ratcheting part, right? We start lowering Pat a little bit, and that's going to load our Purcell. All right, so the Purcell is loaded. Now we take the beaner here, and we clip this thing right back to the shelf on our anchor. Boom. And this is why we have the auto block on, is because now we need to grab a beaner, put it up here on the anchor. And this is really important, you guys. Redirect that brake strand, because if you don't, you're going to drop your climber and they're not going to be happy with you. I'm going to rotate this around. You guys can see that. Auto lock, and it's locked. Okay, so I can take in all the slack in the system. Adjust my auto block. Now I can use the feature of the Purcell. Sorry, Pat, I'm going to lower you. And it starts weighting the system. There we go. Now this is important. Got to get back down here and slide that Purcell up. Don't let that thing get away from you. And it's a really good idea, whatever it takes, to keep this thing adjusted, because if it gets away from you, if you don't have enough adjustment to re-release it, you're screwed. Okay, so remember, we've got the brake strand coming out of this, up through one of our anchors, coming back down to me in my auto block mode. Now I can start lowering Pat here. All right, Pat, lowering. All right. Now notice that Purcell starts sliding down there, so I got to keep that pressed up. So what's nicer about this than using the Muntner system is that when I get Pat to the ground, he'll be able to get right back on the system, and I'll be able to put it back in belay mode really quick. Not quite as fast as the other systems, but okay. Ooh, don't let that thing reset. Okay, so now, before I have him start climbing again, I'm going to need to take this and get it unclipped off that shelf so it's hanging back in auto block mode. Take my redirect off, and we're good to climb. Pat, you're on belay. So that's it. Using a Purcell as a load transfer, is another way to defeat the ATC guide in auto block mode.